Pohatu G2, truly an incredible set. The pieces that come in this set are also exceptional. Today I want to highlight some of the best pieces in this set and show you how you could use them when you build your next Bionicle MOC. We'll also check out some revamps of Pohatu G2, and we're also going to discuss what makes this set great. So let's get into it. What really stands out for me on this set is the asymmetrical arms. One side is totally silver and there's black limbs underneath it. The other side has some trans neon green limbs at the base and then dark orange armor on top. What's the story here? Did Pohatu lose an arm and then he now has a robotic prosthetic arm? Or is this just some kind of stylistic choice where he chooses to have one arm be totally armored? Yeah, like he's wearing some type of gladiator armor. Whatever it is, I kind of love this. The fact that this choice provides a little bit of intrigue and makes me come up with ideas or personality traits for the character, that's fun. I do also love the inclusion of some of these white claw pieces on this arm here. The aesthetic of strapping on metal armor and putting some gnarly spikes on there too, that's sick. It looks like he's fresh out of Mad Max or something. He also looks great with these boomerang weapons. Now this is a radically different weapon for Pohatu, especially since the character is known for his very iconic kicking play feature. And I will admit, I do miss that kicking feature. That was such a fun idea to include on the original set, and the fact that they rotated the torso so that his legs could kick, while every other Toamata set had those rotating arms, that was genius. I was kind of hoping they'd do something like this on the G2 set, but they didn't. But hey, boomerangs, that's something we've not really ever seen on any kind of Bionicle set. So an original weapon design like this, that makes me happy. I'm down for that. You can also turn these into, I guess, jetarangs? If you really want, he can glide around on these like it's some kind of hoverboard. It's an odd play feature, but it is pretty cool. Yeah man, I think this set is a banger. But the best part of this set has to be the awesome color scheme. Look at all of this beautiful dark orange. It's such a beautiful color. Let's take a closer look at some of these armor pieces. We'll start off with the exclusive printed torso piece. It certainly is pretty. And Marco uses two of these on this Cyber Demon MOC. Two of them resting at an angle like this, it makes for a great torso design. And the printing on this torso piece, it blends quite nicely with all of these red guts that are hanging out of the torso. In this context, I think the printing starts to look a little bit more like exposed muscles or maybe battle scars. But hey, this MOC also uses heaps of other pieces that come in this set. All of these lovely dark orange armor pieces are seen here. They make for great arm or leg armor. And then Pohatu's mask looks awesome on the crotch and on the foot here too. Dude, every section of this MOC is covered in pieces that came on this set. Go check out this MOC on Flickr, I'll have a link in the description below, and you can study this image as much as you want and get even more inspiration for how you could use these pieces. And speaking of Pohatu's mask, whether it's in gold or dark orange, it's beautiful. Dylan Meaves uses this mask for a cute little bird head. Placing it on the back of the head instead of on the front of the face, that looks dope. And hey, we can see a couple more examples of how to use that torso piece and some of the dark orange armor as well. And speaking of those dark orange armor pieces, here's a couple more ways you could use them. Dylan Meaves has a shaman MOC here, and you can see that a couple of them are up here on the upper leg design. And this is smart because he's pairing them with this cloth piece. This way it makes it look like the cloth details cover up more parts of the body. Finding a way to blend in armor with cloth, that's some next level stuff. And then Lois Nuva uses these pieces on a MOC called Mahina Toa of Iron. So these are just used for armor, it's nothing special. But they are pairing these pieces with this beautiful Pohatu mask that comes in dark orange. And remember, we got this mask in this beautiful Mictoran set called Huki. And other sets like the Guku bird, for example, they came with heaps of dark orange pieces. So if you have this mask or some of these pieces already in your collection, then you got yourself heaps of different dark orange pieces that you can play with. I mentioned before that this set had some trans neon green limbs, and man, don't these just look stunning? Care Creations has a MOC here that has a lot of trans neon green parts on it. And it's all meant to represent some type of chemical or toxic waste. And check out this eye design. Stuffing some of these into the eye, that's gross. But it's kind of the perfect vibe. All of this toxic waste is just spewing out of this character, and that's exactly what this eye design looks like. So if you want, you could use these pieces in a similar manner. Pohatu also comes with 3 of these silver armor pieces. Joxon uses them here as a way of adding greebled details to the arms and the legs of this character. But it also looks great on the torso design too. Yeah, this piece is a brilliant way to put textures onto your MOC, making it look a little more mechanical. That's rad. And finally, the boomerang piece here, it can be separated. So how do we want to use this piece? Well, Mike Neves uses this as a beak for a bird. And man, is this not so clever? The beak would also be able to pose too, which makes this even more amazing. We can also see these exact same pieces here being used for tail feathers. That's just such a creative way to use these pieces. You could also use them like Sadie has done here on this Toa of Fire, turning it into this fancy staff design, which looks like it could also open and close. That's awesome. It's great to see that this piece still works as a weapon, but a weapon that isn't a boomerang. And then Max Howell uses this piece in a very similar way, but instead they've placed this the other way around. And I love how this looks. When they're placed like this, the staff looks so ancient. It looks a lot more ceremonial. It's a sick design. The character that's holding it also has a lovely color scheme. Great stuff. So that's some ways that different builders have used these pieces. Now, let's see how people have revamped Pohatu G2. Shubi4000 starts us off with an exceptional revamp of Pohatu. I really love how he's armored up the legs. Some sweet silver knee armor, and then a tiny little extra bit of black around the bottom of the feet. Sure, this isn't the same kind of armoring that we see on the original Pohatu's feet, but that extra bit of attention down here on the legs and the feet, it just ties it back into the classic set in a really nice way, and I really appreciate that. This big old hammer weapon is also a lovely idea. Good thinking using the Protector of Earth's stony shoulder pieces here to make a mace. And this mock just rocks. Jakku Builds shows us a very, very different approach to this set. I really dig all of this golden armor. The silver did look pretty good on the original set, but gold, it hits different. And I think it ties in very nicely with the dark orange. It's a good mix of colors. Something very royal and regal about it. I like that. This massive hammer with a big old handle, that's fabulous. And then using Huki's masks for shoulder armor. Incredible. You know, while I loved the first revamp because it very much tied in the classic Pohatu with Pohatu G2, I like that this one is doing the opposite. G2 sets are different characters in a different universe that share the same names and similar aesthetics. So there's nothing wrong with trying something radically different. And this mock is doing exactly that, and you know what? I love it. And then probably my favorite ever revamp of G2 Pohatu. This one here is built by the talented Ron Folkers. I love this. Changing up the body design to make it look really agile and lean, that's awesome. And then all of these translucent yellow wires on the legs. Such a brilliant touch. I feel like this mock really does focus down below on the legs. The aesthetic makes him feel like an Olympic runner, and that just feels so in the vein of this character. Plus the bare bone piston focused design, oh, it's just perfect. Pohatu has never looked better. You know, he really is an awesome set with awesome pieces. I just love him. Now, before we go, check the links in the description below and see more from the builders that I spoke about today. Otherwise, thanks for watching guys, happy building, and bye for now.